Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. I'm Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Saturday, March 5th, 2022. And the sun is in Pisces, as are Pisces co-ruling planets, Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter expands everything it touches, while Neptune inspires what it touches. So having both of Pisces co-ruling planets in the sign of Pisces at this time with the sun is really significant. It really puts a spotlight on those parts of our lives where we feel inspired, where we want to feel inspired, and where we want to expand our creative capacity. And the moon is in Aries today. The moon is a waning crescent at this time. So this is all about making your plans, setting your ambitions. And, Aries especially is ruled by Mars, which we've had a lot to do with Mars lately. And so Aries has this feeling of initiative about it, and a desire to do something, to take action. So, we're not really in the walking around and making and like carrying out our plans phase. But if your intentions are really easily met, then go ahead and meet them. Go ahead and take the action that you want. In the meantime, we're in this mode of thinking about what we are ambitiously after Mars, and putting our strategies in place so that when we come to this first quarter moon on Thursday, we'll have some plans upon which to act at that time. And there's a lot going on the page today. I'm just going to point out that there's a legend on the side. The legend has all of the symbols that are on the page. So if you get a little lost, you can check over here. Otherwise, the page is divided into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon sheds light on our inner lives. This is how it feels to be me, what it is like for us on the inside, how it feels to be in our bodies, our hearts, and our minds, those things we think, feel, know, and intuit, and also who we are in the home space, whoever we're at home with as well. So that's your private life, that's your inner life. The things we think, feel, know, and intuit, they may not necessarily ever get expressed in the outer world. That's just inside. The sun, on the other hand, sheds light on the outer life, and I address the sun's aspects and all the other planetary aspects over here because they have more to do with who we are when we interface with the public, when we're at work or in the social or civic sphere. So, we address them here. They take longer, and they have more to do with that outer life stuff. And we start with the moon today. Central Standard Time, friends, at 5:56 in the morning. The moon makes a sextile with Saturn. Now, moon in aspect with Saturn generally has us sort of knowing the way we have built our life around us, like really feeling those structures, those networks that we rely on for support and validation, and the work that we do to build and maintain them. So that's your inner life. It's how you feel, you think, know, and intuit about your structures. And this sextile is really a very positive, functioning vibration. It brings about change in that it has a generative capacity, that it indicates cooperation between the inner life and our sense of structure. So this is a really good time to actually work on something. If you're trying to build something, if there's something that requires your physical effort, it's actually a good time to go ahead and do that work. And that brings me back up here to Aries, the moon in Aries. Like I said, if you feel like doing something, go ahead and do it, right? You don't have to just sit and plan if your goals are more easily met and you can just get up and get it done. That's great. So we're going to say good time to work or build, okay? And always have on your mind, like, is what I'm doing in alignment with the things I'm trying to achieve. Okay, and then at 1:49 in the afternoon, the moon makes a sextile with Mercury. Now, moon in aspect with Mercury really it makes us thoughtful. It makes us what do I want to say? Well, it makes it's the thoughts, plans, and communications. Okay, so it makes us thoughtful. It makes us focused on the things that we're trying to get done, and it makes us want to talk to other people about it. And this is your inner life, so your heart and home in this really, again, positive, generative, sextile, cooperative aspect with Mercury, which is your planet for thoughts, plans, and communications. So we want to talk about it, and we want to make plans, and we want to do that with the people that we keep close to us in the home. Okay, so it's a great time to talk about, especially like whatever your goals are. We've been talking about partnership goals, and those people you live at home with, those people are definitely your partners in this life. So make sure you have conversations about what's going on in your life and in their lives, and how best to make your home space function, how to best to make your personal lives function well together. This is a great time to be having that conversation. And then at 10:01 in the evening, that's funny, it looks like a little zombie Bart face or something. 10:01 in the evening, the moon makes a square with Pluto. So moon in aspect with Pluto really gets us deep in our emotions, our intuitions, our creative or inspiration. But it's about transformation. It's about having realizations or understandings or remembering things that are important to remember, so that you can change your perspective for the better in the world. With the square aspect here, though, we may be facing some challenges. So don't lean too heavily on that desire for transformation right now, unless you don't mind facing some challenges. Challenges are just, like there's something in the road, I'd better slow down and go around it, right? So moon square Pluto just says, you might have some sort of deep understanding or some intuition, or you might remember something that was important, and you might feel a challenge having recalled it or having realized it, or you might be challenged with the effort to come to that understanding. So if it's not coming to you right now, take it easy on yourself. Challenges with deep perception. I was going to say depth perception, but I don't want to be misunderstood. So yeah, just take it easy on yourself. These moon aspects are only a couple hours long, and if you're having a challenge, you can, with something like that, you can let it go for a couple of hours and come back to it. It is a void of course moon, which means this is the last aspect it's making in the sign of Aries. The next aspect the moon makes will be to make its transit, its ingress into Taurus. So we've got a void of course for several hours. Let me see if I can calculate it here. Oh, just about 4 hours. The moon goes into Taurus right about 2 in the morning. So there you have it. That's the moon side of the page. That's our inner life. And then on the sun side of the page, in the ongoing column, we have a couple of ongoing aspects. And Jupiter sextile Uranus, this is about expanding possibilities for good fortune. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled. definitely, you know, get in your sense of growth and expansion. Have your intentions set in the direction of those things that you would ambitiously pursue to have, right? And Jupiter is here to be generous with us, and Uranus is here to show us what kind of shifts and changes that we can make. And again, they're in this really functional, cooperative vibration with one another. So keep your eyes peeled for those possibilities. Don't be afraid to hop on the train if it seems just perfect. And then Venus conjunct Mars, we're going to talk about that a little lower on the page today because it's going to make an exact conjunct today. But this is very much about our partnerships, right? And they've been in Capricorn. So it's really about the work we have to do in our partnerships to achieve goals together. And it might have more to do with your workplace partnerships or, the people you interact with in order to get your work done. These two are moving together. This is our assertive quality, and this is our receptive quality. And so it's like we know what we want, and we really know how to go after it at this time. So that's beautiful functioning. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more. Both of these are currently conjunct Pluto until later on this evening. So I said a whole bunch about that yesterday, but really just look for those transformative energies going on in your approach to work and the work that you're doing and the work that you wish to do, how you feel about the work, how you go about doing the work, and where's your opportunity to level up or do something better or more fun or more profitable or different, whatever it is that you personally desire and what you in your partnerships are going after. Okay, then on the page today, Sun conjunct Jupiter at 8:06 in the morning. And Sun conjunct Jupiter, we talked about that yesterday too. So Jupiter again is your planet. Guys, I'm going to buy some lottery tickets today. Jupiter is your planet for positive expansion. It's for growth. It is for good fortune. And it's really about expanding your sense of what is possible for yourself, expanding your experience, giving you bigger experience and bigger paths to choose to walk down and richer experiences as well. So and I mean that in a Pentacles kind of way. I mean that in a money on my mind sort of way. But it's really just about all these expanding possibilities, like higher education or travel abroad or bigger business. That's what Jupiter rules. And so the Sun in conjunct with Jupiter, really they're said to brighten one another's effect. Of course, the Sun's light would way outshine Jupiter any day of the week. So the sun is here though to draw our attention, to really shine the brightest light on that sense of expansion on the growth that we desire, on the good fortune that's available to us right now. It's in abundance. And again, Jupiter is in this sextile with Uranus, so you've got steps to take. You can make changes and shifts that get you closer to that much bigger ideal of what you would like to see for yourself in your life. And then I want to bring this in at 4:10 in the afternoon. Jupiter reaches its aphelion. So this is like, hey, the sun is shining on good luck. It's like golden good luck raining out of the sky. Guys, like, good fortune, positive vibrations, big things can happen. So keep your heart open to the shifts and changes you can make to get closer to that. With all of that said, Jupiter reaches its aphelion at 4:10 p.m. So Jupiter at its aphelion is at its farthest point from the sun. So even though they're overlapped in the sky, which is a matter of our perspective and not anything to do with what they're doing, Jupiter is also at its farthest point from the sun at this time. And what that usually indicates is that there's a delayed effect of these vibrations. So, you know, you put your pennies in, you put your effort in, you put your hopes in, and you have faith. Okay, Jupiter does call for faith in ourselves, and for faith in you know, the world to be a kind place for us, and faith in the abundance that is available to us. Okay, and then at 10:23 and 10:30, Mars and Venus go into Aquarius together. They're 7 minutes apart, folks. They are well within 1 degree of one another. They are right next to each other, Mars and Venus. Mars and Venus are the two closest planets to us. I'm going to go ahead and mention that this happens. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mention that this happens also at 11:12. So they're very close to one another. They've been traveling in Capricorn, which has been really like head down, sweat of the brow, nose to the grindstone, kind of do the labor. And now, and you know, it's been very fortunate time to be doing that. It's been, you know, Capricorn does the work because it will be profitable. It will work for us. It will build, we will build something with it. And they're going to move together, like really just right next to each other, into Aquarius this evening. So, you know, a little recap, like Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is all of this structural, foundational vibrations. And Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Aquarius is also ruled by Uranus. So it's structure and it's shake-up. So the idea is that we kind of take a broader view of the foundations upon which we stand. And that's not just us. It includes our family group, our friend group, our neighborhood, our community. We look at those and we do what we can to reinforce them. From a more intellectual management perspective, okay, we're more scientific in this sign. And, you know, again, this is your assertive nature, okay, your ability to, your bold, courageous ability to aggressively pursue what it is that you're passionate about. That's great. And especially Mars has been exalted in Capricorn, which just means that it's really highly functioning, and Capricorn really puts Mars to work for a purpose. So Mars is going to lose a little strength as it moves into Aquarius because it's not as strong as it was when it was in Capricorn. And Venus is a little tired already. Venus has been through several conjuncts and a retrograde lately. Just came out of the shadow of that retrograde. So Venus is still functioning about the same after all those changes we've gone through. In terms of our receptiveness, our ability to draw to us those things we like, love, and can't get enough of, our ability to attract and pull in what we desire. So, you know, this is, I know what I want, and this is, I know how I get it, and this is community style, okay? I know what I want in terms of supporting myself and my family and friends, and I know how to get it in terms of helping them out so that they can help me out. So it's very community vibe. It's about networking. It's about meeting up with allies and trying to do some good. In our partnerships, right? Again, these guys are conjunct. It's a partnership. So now Venus, like right after they enter Aquarius, they're still between 0 and 1 degrees Aquarius. Venus makes a complete conjunct with Mars. We had a complete conjunct back in February on the 16th, and now we're having a second one. And that's why this conjunct has been so long. Usually we would only feel the effects for maybe a week, a few days. But when you've got one coming right up after another, like this is less than a month later, then we really just think of ourselves as being in that vibration the whole time, because they're traveling right alongside each other from our perspective again. So Venus in conjunct with Mars in Aquarius. Uh, you know, again, we're taking those partnership goals and we're turning them outward. We're taking our partnership goals and thinking not just about what we want for ourselves in our partnerships at home, but what we want for everybody else. What kind of community do we want to live in? What kind of family do we want to be part of? What kind of world do you want to be in? What kind of people do you want to surround yourself with? What kind of support do you need? What kind of support do the people around you need? There's a give and take in community where, like, I have this to offer and I show up and I offer it, and then I just kind of have faith that it's going to come back around to me, and it does. So that's Venus conjunct Mars at this time. To me, the big news for today is Jupiter and Sun conjunct. The Sun's aspects only last about 24 hours, so get yours while the getting's good. We'll probably feel that expansive Jupiter vibe for a few days, though. So you got to ask yourself, do you feel lucky? All right, and then coming up on Wednesday, Mercury is going to make ingress to Pisces. So it's worth mentioning right now that Mercury is over here in Aquarius where Mars and Venus are entering. So I can see some conversations happening, especially as we think about turning our gaze outward and engaging in our network and with our allies and our support structures. Mercury is about your thoughts, plans, and communications, and it's currently in Aquarius for a little bit longer. So, great time to be having those conversations as well. Like, what do I need? What do you need? What do we all need? And what can we all do? Okay, so Mercury is going to move into Pisces on Wednesday of next week. And that's going to, make our thoughts, plans, and communications more about what we're creating, what our creative capacity is, how inspired we're feeling, how expansive and generous we can be. And then on Thursday, that first quarter moon in Gemini, we will switch from making plans to acting them out, to going ahead and doing the work to see the culmination of some goals. And on Sunday of next week, the Sun will make a conjunct with Neptune. So today the Sun you see they're all sitting there in Pisces together, right? And the Sun travels a lot more quickly than Jupiter and Neptune. Neptune is the slowest. Jupiter is pretty slow. The Sun, goes through all of the signs in a year. So the Sun made a conjunct with Jupiter today, and so the light is on that really expansive good fortune that's available to us. And then next Sunday it's going to make a conjunct with Neptune, and that's really shining a light on inspiration, our connection to spirit, how we stand in the flow of the human spirit, which is really going to be a conversation in terms of our partnerships in Aquarius. So I think that's all very fun and interesting. Something that I keep forgetting to say, and I really want to emphasize it for you. It's not often that we have 0 retrogrades for a solid amount of time, and I don't know when the next retrograde comes up. I think it's in May, but there are no retrogrades right now. All of these planets are forward motion. Okay, all of the effects of these planets are not hindered in any way. They're not coming at us sideways. We're not meant to struggle after them. All that energy is just flowing in very beautifully. So, appreciate it. And if you can find a way, be inspired by it and, engage in it in a conscious and willing way. And it'll enrich you even further, your experience even further. All right. So thank you all for being here. I'm 24 minutes in. There is a lot of stuff on the page today. There'll be about half as much stuff on the page tomorrow. So thanks for hanging in with me. If you're still here, please like my video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you can see me because I post every day. And what else do I want to say? If you have any thoughts, any questions, if anything comes up for you while you're looking at this, I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. So go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. I will see it and I will respond. And now I'm going to go ahead and get into some tarot. First, I will talk about the tarot card on the side of the page here. This is the Nine of Cups, and it has to do with, it relates to the second 10 days of the sun's transit through Pisces. So the sun's transit is 30 days. There will be 3 cards. This is the second one. We're about halfway through Pisces, folks. And this really represents emotional satisfaction. And it taken in context, again, you know, 8 of Cups came before this, and it was sort of like, oh, I built this thing and I thought it was going to be wonderful, but it's really not enough to receive all this expanded inspiration and creativity that I now have. So we had to sort of feel the loss and move on and understand that there's a better vessel out there, a bigger vessel out there that can take our inspiration and our creative flow and our emotional flow without being overburdened. And that's what the Nine of Cups represents. And I just love the really satisfied look on this person's face. He's like, yep, I made the right choice walking away from that 8 of Cups. Because now I got 9 cups and I feel perfectly satisfied. Thank you very much. All right, so that's the 9 of Cups. Comes with a reminder, appreciate what you have, even in terms of, you know, your emotional life. If you've got a, you know, if you've got a good relationship with somebody, really be happy about it and appreciate it and appreciate them. If you've got a good relationship with yourself, really be happy about that and appreciate it and appreciate yourself. And, you know, likewise, every other person that you are in partnership, because that's your friends, that's your family, that's your romantic partner, that's the people you work with. Everybody you meet in one way or another is going to be a partner in creation with you. Maybe not everyone you meet, but everybody that you stay engaged with. So that's what I have to say about that today. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix my tarot cards up a little bit while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Pisces, and so are Jupiter and Neptune, which are Pisces co-ruling planets. And the moon is in Aries, which gives us this inner sense of initiative and wanting to act. And it's a waxing crescent. So this is the time when we set intentions, create strategies, make plans. And we have the Jupiter sextile Uranus, while Jupiter is in conjunct with the sun. And that is just really good news, folks. Just listen to the universe, listen to spirit tell you when to make the shifts and changes. And you know, you can see yourself in a better position, a more ideal position for yourself, okay? Especially with the sun's light on Jupiter's really expansive, generous, positive vibration that brings us just bigger experiences for ourselves and bigger possibilities and opportunities for ourselves. And Venus conjunct Mars, and also both of them also conjunct Pluto, like transformative energies in our partnerships right now. Again, workplace partnerships, friends, family, your lover. There's a lot of transformative energy right now. So if there are shifts that need to happen, if there are deep and total changes that need to happen, they're happening right at this time. And you know, then later on today, Mars and Venus go into Aquarius, and then they have another full conjunct late this evening, which is beautiful. They made one in Capricorn, and then they shifted into Aquarius, and they made one in Aquarius. So this is really about who we are in partnership and who we are in partnership to the community. Right. And then we have some positive aspects over here. This can be a kind of a difficult one later in the evening. But again, you know, if you're not finding what you need to find as you search within, or if you're having challenges, you know, coming through challenges with a transformation in your life right now, you know, give yourself a little time not to work on it. There are always other things we can focus on, or we can, you know, it's okay to take a break and then come back to it. Okay, and with all of that said, I'm going to turn this card. Gee, guys, we got the Five of Pentacles again. All right, and that's great because asking for help has been whispering itself in my ear. So again, what I see here is we've got a sort of a Venus figure and a Mars figure. You know, you've got a partnership, a couple of people. This really makes me think of the Virgin Mary because she's got a robe and a shepherd's crook. So, you know, that makes me think of this great song by Joni Mitchell where she says, all we ever wanted was just to come in from the cold, right? So if you feel like this good fortune isn't for you, and if you feel like your partnership is not functioning the way that you need it to function, and if you feel like you lack the resources to pursue your goals and your ambitions, don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask for help everywhere you look. Ask for help. And it will be available to you. Okay, that's what I'm getting from it. You know, just come in from the cold. All right. There are always people. There are always institutions even that we resist going to for help unless we absolutely must. And there are times when we absolutely must, and when we must, then we just do it. Right? We swallow our pride and we say, well, I didn't want to do it this way, but I need this. I want to do this. This is my ambition. This is my goal. So you've got to give a little bit of pride, you know, and turn to a person who has a resource that you need, or turn to an institution that has a resource that you need. And I'm talking about resources because it's Pentacles. But you know, turn to somebody who has to offer what you need in order to move forward, and ask for help. And if they can't help you, find somebody else who can. Okay. All right, everybody needs a little help from time to time, and this is a great time to be asking because, again, good fortune is on the plate. Everybody's feeling generous and expansive. Everybody wants to grow and change. We've all been through so much these past several years, and, you know, of course we've come out of it a little bit differently. Hopefully we've come out of it a little bit more like ourselves, and some of us have come out of it a little bit lacking in resources, okay? And that's really a-okay. This is a really good time because the world knows that a lot of us are lacking resources. It's a good time to reach out for a helping hand. And that's all I have to say about that today. Thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate your presence. My name is Mel Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.